Um, don't mind, I am sitting on my floor because my lower back is freaking killing me. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for listening to my podcast and always supporting any wild thing that I just randomly come up with. I have a tendency to do that quite a bit. I did it with my blog, which I still have. I just haven't updated it. I did take it down just so that I don't know what I'm doing with it. And now I have started my podcast, and then the other day I asked if I started making YouTube videos. Well, kind of like vlogs, if you guys would be interested, and I got a lot of you guys saying that you would be, even though I don't know what exactly I'm going to talk about. I'm not the type of person that can like just write something down and that's what I'm going to talk about. It kind of all just blurs out. So anytime you're watching these videos and I jump from one topic to the next, that's probably how it's going to be, just because that's how that's just how it is, or whatever. I did want to get on here and talk to you guys specifically about, okay, I have a couple things I want to talk to you guys about, but I'll only keep it at one for right now. Actually, okay, remember when I said that I didn't write anything down? Well, I think I might go off of that just because I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about, and I know I just made a podcast about it, but it was very short. I want to talk about anxiety and depression and a little bit of mental health, just because depression and anxiety is something that I suffer with, and I feel like now, being older, I have like more of a voice than what I did whenever I was younger, just because growing up in my family, it's for most of it, it's almost like anxiety and like that kind of thing, that they don't exist, or you're being dramatic, or you're over exaggerating. But I don't think, if you don't suffer from panic attacks or anxiety attacks or heart palpitations or depression, shutting yourself out and just all that stuff, you don't have much of a voice to speak on it. You've never been through it. You can't just tell somebody to get over it and move on, and you're too old to feel this way. Any age, anybody can have anxiety, anybody can have depression, anybody can go through all of it. If it's not one, it's everything. So it frustrates me when people, and I've been told this like too many times to count, it just frustrates me when someone is like, get over it. Let me tell you why I can't get over it. First off, I have come a very long way from where I have began, this has all started. I think a big part of my anxiety comes from me moving to every single school district that you can think of. A lot of you know my mom passed away, so my dad moved us out here to Beaver County, and moving to Beaver County, throughout up until maybe my 8th grade year, I had gone every school year. I had changed a different school, any school you can think of, and I think a lot of my anxiety stems from that, from always being the new girl, always have to introducing myself and standing up in front of large crowds, and people were mean. Like, kids were so mean back in the day. Like, I don't really understand why, but it just made me feel unwelcome and uncomfortable. And so I think that's where it's come from. And that went all the way up until I graduated high school. I mean, I wouldn't even present any presentations if I didn't have to. If I could do the presentation, if I could do the PowerPoint and stay after class and present it to just a teacher, that is what I would do up until our senior project when I had to speak in front of people. And I tell you, I will never ever want to get back to that. I was really surprised that I got through it. But, and I don't know why, and I'm still trying to figure out why I make so much of a big deal of people staring at me while I'm talking. Meanwhile, I'm on here like video recording myself, but whatever. I've come a long way. I just think that it all stems from that. It's a lot of moving around. So, I mean, everyone's anxiety comes from different, like, however it's come from. But that probably, I've tried to see a therapist, but I just don't even believe in that. I just feel like they're just there to take notes, but that's me. If you go to therapy and it works for you, that is amazing, and I wish it did work for me. But I think talking out loud and writing is what works for me, so I don't really, talking to like someone face to face just doesn't work with me. But I don't know, big crowds make me very nervous. I remember a few years ago I went to Cleveland, and it was like baseball season, and there were so many people just in the streets everywhere. When I tell you, I felt like I was a snowman, and I just melted, like, and I couldn't move. Like, I don't know why. The type of anxiety, I don't know if there's a name for it, but like the type of anxiety that I have, it makes me feel like I can't move. Like I physically like can't do it. Like, you could tell me to like, come on, like walk over here, everything's gonna be fine. Once I feel uncomfortable, and once my panic attack sets in and my heart starts beating fast, and my hands get sweaty, and I just get nervous, I can't move myself. Like, I can't remove myself from that situation until I feel comfortable enough. And once my heart stops racing, once I feel like that is at an okay level, then I can remove myself. And some people are like, no, like, just come on, like, you have 2 feet, you can make yourself walk. You don't know. And I don't know how to make you know. Like, and if you don't ever go through this, I am slightly jealous. But I feel like my anxiety kind of makes me who I am, in a way. I am definitely a huge introvert at the end of the day, and I am fine with that. And I'm like my dad. My dad is the same way. And I wish I knew what my mom was like. Oh my God, I wish I knew what she was like. Because honestly, if she was outgoing and like so fun, but like from pictures I've seen of her, she definitely was. So I'm kind of like jealous that I didn't get that trait and I got my dad. And I think a lot of that has to do with, I mean, me obviously not having my mom around, but and me being raised by my dad. So my dad's an introvert, and then he raised an introvert. And I was just talking to my aunt. She was like, well, when you have kids, you can't raise them to be like that. And I'm like, but the world is low-key scary. Everyone's mean, so maybe that, I mean, who knows? And it's so weird because my job now, I mean, I used to work in the health field, and I recently just left there back in December because, for one, it was never anything that I wanted to do. I kind of had an ultimatum, but I had to talk to people every day. I had to talk to new people every day. And then now I'm like in customer service, and I have to talk to people every day, and I have to make phone calls to people every day. So I'm like, it's baby steps, but I am very proud of myself as to where I came from. So if you are someone who has come such a long way from where you've been, and you've broken out of your shell, and you are doing things that you don't do, literally, like, I wish that I could give you a hug, and I wish that I could, like, we could sit down and talk about, like, everything, because it is so amazing when people tell me stories about, like, how far that they have come and what they do and what they would have never done, because it makes me happy, and it makes me hopeful that one day maybe all of my anxiety will be gone. And who really knows if that's going to happen. Another thing that I was like, back like in December, like when I had left my job, I wasn't working for about a month, and I was so hard on myself because I have no idea what I want to do. And I don't know if that is from every dream that I had in high school. I don't know if it's because it was every dream I had was shot down, so I don't really know, like, now I really don't know what to do, and I'm trying to figure out what I am best at and where to go from there. But so like in January, I was super depressed. I wasn't working. I didn't leave my room unless I had to, and I kind of started to shut everybody out. And I think I shut everyone out because no one understood what I was going through. And it's hard to explain these things to people like Nick. He doesn't have, or at least he doesn't show it. See, I don't really know because he sometimes is very reserved. I don't think he's ever gone through that, so it's hard to like explain to him like what I'm going through, and like I don't do it on purpose. Like, it's literally I don't do it on purpose, and it's hard to tell him. So I started to isolate him, and then we kind of started to isolate each other, and just, it was rough. Depression is in any form that you can think of. Mine consisted of sleeping. I would sleep all day long for the whole month of January. Pretty much all day long I would sleep. I would be up until 7 a.m. and I would just, I would just watch TV, but there was like nothing, like, I didn't go anywhere. I gained weight. I didn't do anything. I didn't go outside. And sometimes Nick would like try to like do stuff with me, but it's hard. It is so hard to get out of a dark place. And once you start to pull yourself out of a dark place, it feels amazing. And it is just like, wow, like, one, you're like, why did it take me so long to do this? But like, everything takes time. Like, everything comes at its own pace. You cannot rush anything that is not meant to be. And I'm starting to realize that, like, as I'm growing, and I try to grow a little bit every day. I try to do something, not as much lately, just because I'm starting to fall back into my shell that I am always reserved in. But this, like, talking out loud, like, watching myself speak is a big step, because like a couple years ago I'd be like, no, just kidding, I'll just post a picture and that's about it. But no, I tried to, I think like in my podcast, if you listen to it, I said that I started to do yoga. I started to do yoga for multiple things, but doing yoga, it made me get up and like do something. And I started to like follow a girl who does it, and she just motivated me so much to just get up and go. And I was trying for a long time. It's like, I don't know, it just, I have come such a long way, and I just wanted to tell anyone else who has come a long way that, like I said, I just want to hug you, and I just want there to more people. I want more people who have anxiety, who have depression, to talk about it, because it is important. It is so important. I used to keep things bottled in, and now I just let everything go. Anything I have to say, for the most part, you're going to hear about it, because I thought bottling it away would help, but it did not help at all. I had so much bottled up, and then there was a point in time where I just wanted to explode, and I would cry. And if you know me, I cry all the freaking time for literally no reason. I'm so emotional, and it's disgusting. But that's all I wanted to do, was just cry. And it just, nobody wants to feel like that. And I don't want anyone to let anyone else make them feel like you are nothing and you are just childish and over dramatic over the way you feel. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with being who you are. And if people can't accept you for who you are, it's their loss. And it's like, I mean, I can't really change myself. I don't really necessarily change myself for other people. If I change myself, it's because of me, and it's because of something that I'm lacking. And I'm like, okay, you need to get your crap together, like, immediately. I don't know, I just kind of wanted to go into a little more of what I had talked about the other day, because it's just been something that's on my mind. And if you took the time to listen to this, I do appreciate you so much. And I am proud of you and where you are now. And don't let anyone tell you that, don't let anyone make you feel like you have to change for them. If anything, change for yourself. Do something for yourself. Be positive for yourself. Be kind. Always be kind. Always be kind. It is so reassuring whenever there is other kind people in this world, because this world is mean and nasty, and there's not a lot of kind people left. So I just wanted to ramble a little bit, but thank you for listening to me. And if you see this video, share it, like it, whatever. And kind of, if anyone wants to hear my story, I am more than willing to go into more depth, and I probably will here soon, because there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot that people know. There is a lot that people have heard, but nobody knows me. But I would like to be more open with everyone and to talk about things that nobody really wants to talk about. And that is all I have to say. Good night.